All right, listener questions. Yuli, first questions to you. We have a question apiece.
Sweet.
Question apiece.
I'm
First
ready.
question. Will Paul Uleberry
Mm.
ever compete
Hmm.
in a D tier tournament?
What's a D tier?
It's like the new
Oh, the
tier.
flex start.
It's like lower than C tier. So I think this
I've
might
already
be
played
like a
in a D
little.
tier.
You already did?
I've already played. They already have D tiers, I
Oh.
believe.
I
I've
think this
played it.
might have been like a little bit of a play on you. I posted that C tier clip of you
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
C
yeah, yeah.
tiers. So I think this might be a little bit of a play on that.
Oh,
Did
okay.
you
Maybe
see?
a
Did you
XC,
see?
an XC. That's what that would
Oh,
be, I think.
did you see Drew Gibson's response to the video?
No, read it.
Okay. So he goes in quotes, prolific winner on tour, in quotes, is so much different than winning C tiers to get your win count up. Macbeth is a prolific winner. Someone with 100 C tier wins is not, in my opinion. MLB players don't get to go play college games and hit five dingers and say, look how good I am at hitting.
Well, I'll respond to that.
Jeez.
Yeah, the first thing
Jeez.
is every time I play a C tier, I'm actually entering in the professional open division. I'm not going to
College
a
tournament.
college tournament and competing against collegiate athletes in advance. I'm playing in the open division where you pay an entry fee and you play for money, which is what I do for a living. That's my first one. Second one is I think I have over 30 A tier wins that account for part of my over 100 wins, which is, I believe, like top 10 all time. We're pretty close, at least top 20. Guarantee it's top 20 all time. Back in the day, we didn't have a bunch of tournaments like we do now. So I'd like to think that if we did back then, I would have won a couple more. Competition has gotten better. I admit that. Am I a prolific winner like Paul Macbeth? No. Have I ever claimed to be? No. But I know for a fact I've played C tiers with Drew Gibson in the field and taking that tournament down.
Yeah, I think this take it's it, I'm not down with this take. I think it's a dumb take. And the reason for it, because I've also said on this podcast, I think eventually there will become a time and place where if you do get your Disc Golf Pro Tour card,
Yeah.
you're not able to play in certain events. I think that should happen at some point. However, spoiler alert, there are numerous people that have tour cards on the Disc Golf Pro Tour and literally have to live in a van or have to live at their parents' house or have to live some like there are so many people on the Disc Golf Pro Tour that have no money in their bank accounts, right? It's not like
Yeah.
they're racking up money and now they're going to these C tiers and they're beating people and being like, well, what the heck? This guy's taking my money. Now, obviously, it's different for some people, but you can't just say, like, oh, well, Paul Uleberry, he's got this sponsorship and this sponsorship. No, Paul Uleberry has a tour card. So does this person. So you can't say this for this person when they
Yeah.
are the same exact tier, if that makes sense.
For sure. No, it does. It's also a perfect Drew quote because he takes like what you say and then takes it to the extreme. Like
Oh, yeah.
he likes to do that thing. I
Yeah,
I
no
I
one's
in
going
that
down to college
in
college
that clip
basketball and
I
dunking
I
on
had
you.
mentioned my goals. Now, did I
Yeah.
reach my goals of becoming a prolific winner? In my mind, what a prolific winner is? Probably not. But I definitely met a goal of winning 100 times on the tour and traveling around the country and winning in almost every state that I visited.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can.
I feel like that's something that I'm definitely going to put a feather in my cap for doing because back then when I was doing it, there wasn't a lot of us that were able to take like your game didn't travel. You had to be good to go different places and win.
And you can categorize everything, right? You can say this person was a prolific winner in college. This person was a prolific winner in local tournaments. This person was a prolific win. You can categorize anything you want. So,
Yeah. I mean,
like,
that's
yeah, I don't think you're
I've
saying
had
you're a
this
prolific
conversation
winner
with him.
on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
I've had this
You never said
conversation
that.
with him before, and a couple points that I like try to make. Like Brian Schwaberg is going to win 400 times. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's nuts.
That's
That's very
insane.
hard. It's very
It's
hard to do.
and it's not necessarily because of the people that he's beating, okay? That has a little bit to do with it, yes. But what it comes down to facts like what it does is it comes down to facts like this, okay? In order to win lots of times, it's time. It's the time that you put in to do that. So somebody like him who's sitting on his couch while I'm out there grinding a C tier and getting dubs is hilarious to me because when you add up the amount of times that I've gone out there and won, that's over a year where you would have to play every single day and win every single day of your life. That's crazy. It's the time that Brian Schwaberger puts in to going out over and 400 times. How many days in the year are there? Like that's right. That's a crazy statistics to think about it like that.
Yeah.
That's waking up, getting the job done every single day. And there's all kinds of different things in all other sports. Like, do assists for John Stockton mean anything because he didn't win a championship? Yeah. It's a statistic.
Yeah. No,
Cal Ripken not missing a game.
It can all, like, at the end of the day, it can all be categorized. It can all be, thrown in this, thrown in that. So, interesting take by Drew. All right. My question is, why did Foundation sponsor Gannon Burr in 2021? And why don't they sponsor other pros? Okay. This is why. The majority of companies in disc golf do not have a marketing team in a way to market their products, market their company. They need to have players. Yeah. They need to have people to throw their discs. They need to have people wear their jerseys. They need to have people wear their bags. They need to have people that are out there doing it. We've seen some companies like Dynamic Disc who have tried to create people that work at Dynamic Disc into influencers, into content creators. And I think like Danny, for example, I think it works with him. I think some of the videos and stuff when I first got into disc golf, I was watching his videos. I think he did a good job. So I think it can work. But trying to turn your warehouse manager into someone that is going to be someone that's interesting on a YouTube channel, not that easy. So the reason why we don't do it anymore is because we have already people pushing Foundation, right? We have Robbie C. We have Hunter and Trevor, the Bogey Bros. We have Connor. We have myself. We have people already doing that for us. And so we sponsored Gannon, and we did it before we kind of learned about this, but we sponsored Gannon. And the problem with retailers, and it's going to get harder and harder for these retailers, is the only way they make really money off of these players as a retailer is if they can get product of that player in their store and bought. You're not going to see a noticeable difference from just sponsoring someone that's like, hey, use my code for 10% off when you shop here. That doesn't really make that big of a dent on how much you have to pay for someone to be sponsored, right? So that's ultimately why we aren't sponsoring any players anymore, is because we didn't really see the return on investment. And we've sponsored a couple people as well, not just Gannon. And we also don't want to like be giving like chips and crackers to people to sponsor them, right? And be like, hey, for this to make sense, we're going to give you $5, when I know they're worth so much more than that, but it's just not financially going to make sense. So that ultimately is the reason behind. Gotcha. But hey, I saw something in Gannon at the very, very beginning. I was like, this kid is freaking good. And he's a super nice kid. Got to talk to him. And Hunter, I think negotiated that all back then and got him signed up, which was super dope. It's just financially for a retailer, it is so hard for it to make sense to continue on with someone. So that is that.